But the thing we have to recognize is because of the change of power, because of the change of the administration, much of where the pro-life movement has focused its energies in the past, we may not be able to make as much progress over the next 2 and 4 years. And we have to be very realistic about that. We probably aren't going to see good appointments to the Supreme Court if any seats open up. We're not going to see good federal judges. We're not going to see good pieces of legislation coming out of the House or Senate very easily. And certainly not out of the executive branch, out of the White House. So if we invest all our energies into lobbying and into federal efforts, we're going to run into brick wall after brick wall. Now, we still need to be on those fronts. We need to defend, we need to fight. But instead, we have to look and say, where can we make progress? And that's where 40 Days for Life, I think, fits a beautiful solution in the midst of these problems. We have unprecedented opportunity right now to be able to make progress on the local fronts and on the state fronts. And honestly, in one sense, you hear the phrase, the best of times, the worst of times. One blessing that I have seen come from the results of the election, the most radical pro-abortion president in history will take office here in January of 2009. One of the blessings I've seen is that people who have for the last 4 and 8 years been sitting back saying, well, the White House will take care of it well, Congress will take care of it well, everything inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C. will take care of itself, they finally realized it's not going to happen that way. I need to do something. Right. And I have seen a whole new wave of people getting involved for the very first time in pro-life efforts because they know I'm not going to wait for the president. I'm not going to wait for the Supreme Court. I'm not going to wait for my senator, my House of Representatives, my state legislature. I need to do something to help save lives right where I live. And that's what 40 Days for Life and many other efforts have given people a vehicle to do. There are things that people can do to save lives, to change hearts, to change minds, and rebuild at the grassroots level our culture, one life, one mind, one heart at a time.
That's great. Yeah, I remember we talked about that on our last show, the ways they can get involved in 40 Days for Life. What they can do on the local level, and it reaffirms something that I've been thinking about, that we look back in history to slavery and the right to vote for women and the right to vote for minorities, and it's not the government that comes up with this brilliant idea to make things better. It's the people at the lowest levels of everyday life that actually are going to make this change. We're going to have to show the government that abortion needs to end. So,
come to the fountain, dip your heart in the streams of